everybody, it's Melanie with Ford on 5th Cigars, and today I am running some errands for the shop. So I thought I'd answer some of your guys' questions that you had for me about family and cigars. So stay tuned, light up a cigar, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I got asked a fantastic question this weekend about cigars and family and health, but I thought it was such a fantastic question. The question was, 1, do we smoke in front of our kids? 2, do we talk to our kids about cigars and, having them being healthy or safe, them being compared to cigarettes? And I mean, there was so much detail in the question, and I wish I had it with me to read, but basically talking about like having boundaries with smoking cigars and that type of thing. Wow, I thought that was such a great question, because that was absolutely something that, you don't think to talk about as a parent, because, you think, okay, well, I'm just relaxing, smoking a cigar, my kids are playing, and then let's let the conversation naturally, happen. For myself and Anthony, when I didn't start smoking cigars until later, and really I started smoking cigars to help Anthony with his business, not intending, well, and there's a little side story that I'll have to tell you guys later, but really not intending to fall in love with it as much as I did, but I ended up falling in love with it. So through that, our firstborn, and actually at the time, just the little ones were babies, so we would always smoke, have a cigar, once or twice a week for me, but Anthony obviously a little bit more after the kids were in bed or during nap time. My oldest daughter, she is a type A personality. She's gifted and very intelligent, and she asks a ton of questions. My other kiddos, they're all very inquisitive, but this didn't happen until later on. But our oldest daughter, she was upset. So she did not like us smoking cigars because she was very confused about cigars and cigarettes. And so instead of being able to have a conversation with her, she just got angry and stormed off. So it was really hard to create a safe environment for her to understand that it was an occasional hobby. It wasn't a drug, because that was also something she was confused about. She thought it was a drug. Also she thought, we were doing something bad. It took a lot of time for me to kind of work on her about the situation and explaining to her that cigars are completely different. So it took a lot of education, and not anything like, hey, you have to do it, you have to support it. No, absolutely not. We wanted her to understand that it was a culture, and it wasn't something that we were doing was wrong or bad. I wanted her to understand that it was her dad's job, and it was something that was part of our family business. And over time, she has understood the hobby, but it's taken a lot of time. So, like I said before, we had a really an extremely challenging time with my oldest daughter for her understanding cigars were different. They weren't something bad. It wasn't a sin. It wasn't something that was a horrible thing. So as far as my daughter goes, it was extremely hard explaining cigar smoking as a hobby, which one wouldn't expect. With my daughter being a type A and very black and white personality, I could understand, and also where we live in a very Mormon populated area, and Mormons don't smoke, drink, or anything like that. I understood her dilemma and her feelings towards it. Now she really has accepted it a lot more. I explain, how much I love the community, how much fellowship it provides for so many men and families. With my other kids, they were younger, and we were able to talk to them about it, and it was more issues like
you need to stay away from the lighter and the cutter and the other end of the cigar. And like I said, we really didn't smoke with them or we never smoked with them. But if we did, they were out playing on the play yard and they were far away from us. It was more like, don't touch the humidor. The lighter and cutter aren't to be touched. They're not toys. Don't touch matches. This is the end. And then as they got a little older, we discussed, one of my little guys, he does have some really severe allergies and asthma. So I never smoke in the car with the kids and never really smoke around them because of that. But it's a lot of talking about, we do it on occasion, just like you have an occasional drink of alcohol. I let them smell it because I don't want it to be like something that is, that they would rebel or sneak away from me. And I really want them to feel safe to talk about topics, not just cigars, but if drugs come up one day, alcohol, sex, anything like that, I want my kids to debate and talk to me and feel like I'm a safe person to come to and not have those secret conversations with friends. I know it'll change as they get older, but that is the goal for both myself and Anthony. So that's how we felt. Obviously we don't want them to have their first cigar until they turn 18 or if they choose to, but we have talked about that with them. I obviously want them to have a healthy lifestyle and make that decision for themselves. If we still have our family business, if they choose to be a part of it, then I would love that. If not, then they can, choose whatever career that makes them happy. So that's kind of my thoughts towards my children and cigars. So as far as family goes, and Anthony comes from, his dad is a pastor and just a really great guy. Anthony's dad smoked a pipe occasionally while he grew up and smoked cigars. So when Anthony turned 18, he had a really great experience with his dad taking him and teaching him how to smoke a cigar. And that was kind of their Monday night tradition. That's where Anthony's passion came in. It came from his dad. So enjoying your family with cigars seems so natural and so great. So my family is almost the opposite. And my dad is a doctor. My mom is a nurse practitioner, and my stepdad's a pharmacist. My stepmom is a teacher. And there's a lot of doctors and people in the health profession that do smoke cigars. They understand, it's an occasional treat. I really feel that, just like drinking, in moderation, it doesn't harm you. Obviously, not smoking is better than smoking, but having a balance is okay. So my family has always been the opposite of supportive. They've supported us in some ways of the business. They've always been proud, but it's been definitely a topic that we don't talk about. It's a topic of tension, and like my mom really supports my business ideas and she thinks that I've always been an entrepreneur. My dad's always really caring and kind and all that, but when it comes to talking about smoking, we don't go there. And I would just say I get hurt by it, to be honest. Like when I bring up the trade show coming up and they're the least thrilled about watching the kids, or just get frustrated, like, why do you need to go, or why are you so enthusiastic about things like that, I get my feelings hurt. But what I've really learned is that there are people that it's not worth arguing about, people that do not understand the culture of cigars or the different countries that put their livelihood and families into cigars and the differences between cigarettes and cigars. It's like if you go to a doctor and you tell them you have a cigar once a month or twice a month and they put you down as a cigarette smoker, you need to switch doctors, right? So I really wish, my family would understand that a little bit better, but there's no point in arguing with somebody like that because they don't understand, and that's what I've learned. They just don't understand that people come in and relax, and it takes a long time to smoke a cigar. It's not like a puffing, like you have to have a cigarette break and, you know, you're racing out to work. No, it's not like that. So I don't even bother trying to explain to people like that, unfortunately. So I'm just curious about hearing about your family, and if you have a family drama or a weird dynamic. You know, do you have something like your spouse doesn't like you smoking or understand the hobby? Anyway, I just want to hear your stories. Do you have issues with your family? You feeling judged smoking cigars, or kind of what's your story with that? Anyway, hope you guys all have a great day. Light up a great cigar, and I will talk to you later. Again, this is Melanie with Ford on 5th Cigars.